Hit it! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Alien, the tabletop RPG. We are rolling on into season 2 with our new cast. If you don't know who everybody is, I'm really sorry about that. You should probably go check out session 0, where we had a lot of laughs and talked about our characters, kind of brainstormed a little bit. Had a lot of fun with that. Now, I don't have a whole lot of typical, like, hey, this is this person, but I do have Juniper here who plays a little game on Saturday. So I'm going to toss it over to her real quick.
Sure. I'm Juniper. I'm Linen and Spice most places on the internet. On Saturdays, I play a game called the Moonstone Matriarchy over on Dee and Denial's channel. And it's a group of all women. We get up to all sorts of stuff. Last time we lost it many, many times over double entendres. It's that kind of situation in that group. Yeah, come join us on Saturdays. Back
Thank you
to Ray.
very much. Yeah, that it's a good time. It's very fun to watch them all doing their hijinks. Very good DM, very good players. Definitely check it out. All right, let's I'm trying to think if there's any other huge topics that I really wanted to touch on. If you like our shows and maybe you want to participate in one, I am in the works of bringing around community days again, which would be just a random one shot that I will open up to the entire Discord community. And if you have time, you can jump in and we'll just have fun playing different games all across different systems. They'll probably be simpler systems, kind of like Alien. That way, for a one shot, we're not spending 3 weeks creating characters for a one shot, that kind of things. But we're definitely looking forward to having some community shenanigans. So definitely check that out. Jump on our Discord. There'll be links in the Twitch chat. And let's jump on into our game, okay? I'm going to roll the intro and we'll be right back. Not sure why it did like this little mini screen thing instead of the full screen. That was kind of wild. I'll have to look into why it did that. But
I figured you just wanted to hide up me and Juniper.
Mhm.
like I should have like peeked around the corner because it was like half my camera. Wow, that was wild. That was something else. But all right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Let's get into a game. Our players, we open on the planet of Proxima Secundus. It is a rather large city planet that has a relatively tame atmosphere, kind of only ever reaches about 70 degrees Fahrenheit at its peak. Gets down to approximately 30 degrees Fahrenheit at its lowest. So it's a really mild temperate planet, kind of considered like a retirement world for those that have traveled in space for a long time and have kind of gotten used to the cold, let's say. Now, all of you are assembled in the nearby area. possibly in the same hotel as each other, maybe separate hotels, motel even, depending on what kind of money your character has to throw around. But any which way you slice it, you are all here because a mysterious benefactor has reached out to you named Darius Toten. He is an elderly gentleman who keeps everything quite tight-lipped. He doesn't let his information leak out easily, and in fact, it's very difficult to find anything about him over any kind of internet. So he has summoned you all to a warehouse type, not a warehouse, like an office building. Darius had to be Darius. Darn tootin'. So anyway, it is morning. Everybody has woken up and showered and everything. So now all that remains is to head to the office building. Without giving any specific times or anything like that, I'm going to say that each of you has about 2 hours before you have to be there. That is incorporated into what, travel time is incorporated into whatever it is that you'd like to do before you get there. With that being said, let's start with Ash. Ash, what are you doing in this short amount of time before you have to be at the offices?
I'm assuming a nice retirement community might have a rare book/antiques type place. And I would wander towards there looking for somebody that might have some good stories or some unusual finds.
All right. I'm going to say, let me see something here real quick, because we do D6s around here with this game. I think that's how it works. Yeah. All right. With a roll of a 5, you do find a small bookshop. It's seems kind of run down and almost not very well taken care of, but in big words sprawled on the front, it says "The Never-Ending Story."
Poking, looking, kind of anybody stand out, in particular the proprietor? Do they look like they're a bored shopkeeper, or do they look like they might have some history?
Wandering around the bookstore, it's got that smell like old books. Like, these aren't fresh, new, hot off the presses. This is definitely old school stuff. And as you're wandering around, you come across a large kind of like plush chair in which sits an elderly gentleman who's reading over a book and he's smoking on a pipe. And he kind of puts it down to his chest and looks over at you. Ah, hello. What can I do for you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm killing some time while I'm waiting for a meeting, and I'm a pilot. I'm out here all the time, and I've started collecting these book of, let's call them space fables. Like, do you have anything in here that might be uncertain if it's true or not? Kind of ship's logs, accountings, maybe odd star chart or two.
Oh, yes, star charts for sure. I have many of those. As for tales, I mean, there's no short supply of those. Things like mermaids made of light sailing through space, giant whales, all manner of silly things.
How about stories from where, some of the more dangerous creatures come from?
Oh, you're talking about those things. closes his book after putting a little bookmarker in there, and he says, "Come along, I'll show you my dangerous creatures section." And he kind of takes you to just this random aisle in the shop, and there's like notebooks, like spiral notebooks, and they're just kind of sprawled with people just like scribbling notes and kind of like sketching out pictures of xenomorphs and face huggers and chest bursters, like the whole nine. But it definitely reads more like this person may have dropped some acid.
Well, yeah, we're on the right track here, but some of this is a little far fetched. Do you have anything that might be a little more scientific?
Not here. I try to keep my works more whimsical.
Well, I bet you see all kinds in here. If you do come across something, it might be of value to me. I pull a card out of my pocket.
Oh, of course. Yes, if you leave me your contact info, you'll be the first one I call.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Some of the social niceties have gotten bumped off of Ash. It was like that nice, and the hoodie goes over and turns and just goes.
There you go. I mean, it's space. How nice can you really be? All right. So
it's cold, and so am I.
It's made my heart cold. All right, so Ash heads off to head to the meeting. And now we are going to turn it over to, and bear in mind, this is all happening simultaneously. So you may like kind of pass each other on the street kind of thing. But you're not like running into each other like, oh, hey, how's it going? But we're going to cut over to Brooks now. So this is happening at the same time. Brooks, what are you doing before the meeting?
So I think Brooks does not like not knowing who this is, who everyone else is, where this building is at. I think they've set themselves up in a cafe somewhere in this office district and is looking up information about the building, what name that they know, watching people come and go from this building, seeing if what they're getting into, because not knowing any variables is bad game.
That's fair. That's fair. So doing a little bit of surveillance, as it were, you found out that through just interacting with some people nearby that the building itself doesn't typically have any one owner for very long. It's kind of one of those people rent it for like a month, do their business, and then deuce out. And as you've been sitting here watching the people coming and going, you see there's no shortage of people in business suits and briefcases. There's a few people that are very similar in attire to yourself. Like, that space captain kind of look. Yeah. There's been a few colonial marines, a few marshals, just definitely a wide variety of people have come and gone.
Good to know.
No kids, though, because who brings kids into space?
Right.
Well,
Yeah, I think just kind of looking at this, people coming and going, it doesn't. Now it's a little bit more on the up and up, just knowing like, okay, like they're casting a wide net and something is going on, but we'll see what it is, but it doesn't look like a setup as much. Still guard high up though, so I think they'll continue to watch until 30 minutes prior, and then kind of make their way towards the building.
That's fair. That's very fair. Okay. So Brooks now has a plan in place. You continue to watch people as you wait for that 30-minute mark.
Oh, any sort of like security? Are people being like frisked on their way through? Wanding? Nope. Okay.
Nope. No security at all. Not even a metal detector at the door.
Okay.
All right. Next on our list of people doing things, we have Deacon.
Deacon, since to him this is sort of standard procedure for jobs they've taken over the last couple years. So nothing out of the ordinary with that. He's going to seek out a craft shop to find yarn for his crochet habit.
Aw.
Just
I
prep,
forgot about
he
that.
needs supplies if he's going to go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So as you are wandering around, you come across a massive building, which is it almost seems out of place in this like retirement community. It's got a massive orange sign that just reads "The Lobby of Hobbies."
Amazing.
Well, that sounds attractive. I will enter.
Proceeding in, you see every number of craft available. There's paints and like everything you could need for a side hustle of crafts.
One-stop shop. I am looking for yarn.
You proceed towards the back area and you find like 3 or 4 aisles of every kind of yarn that exists in space.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll focus on the colors of the universe. I'll get some gray, some yellow, some black, and some more gray. Depot.
Okay. those are some definite good colors. I'm not even gonna like charge that off of your money. I'll say it's just so minuscule that I won't make you keep track of that.
Oh, I'll just drop $35.
Yeah,
We're good.
seems reasonable.
Round off my number. And that's it. I mean, after I pick that up, I stow that stuff away in my bag and I head to the meeting. I'm ready to go.
I love how this group is gonna look when they all come together. Next on our amazing list, we have Phoebe. Phoebe, what you doing before this meeting goes down?
Well, definitely walking around with my dad. Because we're basically two peas in a pod. He can't get rid of me, vice versa, especially all of that shenanigans years ago. But I think Phoebe would like to go and try to maybe go get like her own medical kit, like with like, their own instruments and everything. Because she's done a couple different jobs with her dad, but on most ships, the actual medic doesn't really like a teenager messing around with theirs. So she is dead set on getting her own so that she can actually be useful with it. And then I would say wherever we end up, I don't know if it would just kind of be like a hodgepodge of like a random gadgets and all that other stuff. But my dad would probably be kind of looking to get like some old mechanical puzzle thing just because he likes them.
So he wants the puzzle box from Hellraiser. Good to know.
Yeah,
All
basically,
right.
or like some
Element
mechanical, like
configuration.
yeah, or like some mechanical Rubik's cube thing that he's just fascinated over, but is like priced way higher than it needs to be.
I don't know what you're talking about. Rubik's cubes are collectibles. These things are very rare in the universe these days. Well, that's wonderful. So yeah, as you two are just kind of wandering the street, I feel like you're looking for, your dad's with you, so he's kind of looking for the best deal kind of thing, and I feel like you're hitting up those little shops that are outside of the actual shops. People like basically scalping like the stuff that the people sell inside, but you can very clearly tell it's like stuff that was thrown away in the dumpster a little bit ago. Like they're just reselling it.
Yeah, one man's trash is another man's treasure type deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I will make note though that when like if my dad does find this like random mechanical puzzle thing, that Phoebe definitely rolls her eyes because she's like, another one, like ugh. Like
so we're waiting for a roll from chat to see what goodie your dad finds. I'm gonna say on an actual 6 it'll be a Rubik's cube, because this is I feel like that since that was the first thing you said, that the Rubik's cube is going to be his Twinkie.
All right, I dig it.
Like he's in search of the Rubik's cube. So chat, that would be exclamation point D6. And there is a cooldown on it, so if your roll doesn't go through straight away, then just give it a little bit and you can do it again. But Darth Caustic's roll comes in first with dibs. Darth Caustic comes in first with a 4, so no Rubik's cube, but he is super excited to find one of those like Hawaiian bobbleheads that sits on the dashboard.
Heck yeah. Still gonna roll her eyes. Yeah, she's gonna kind of look at him like, what use? Why?
You hear him do like that audible like, oh, and he runs over and he turns around to you and he's like, Phoebe, which one? And he holds up, in one hand he's got one of those Hawaiian bobbleheads, and in the other hand he's got fuzzy dice.
Yes.
Neither. Maybe get something useful for once, Dad. Like, don't you need some new tools or something?
Oh, there's always time for tools. I can get tools anywhere, but these are real treasures.
She just kind of shakes her head. It's like, I guess the fuzzy dice then.
I heard both. He turns around and pays the shopkeeper, and he buys both of them.
But I'm gonna also chuck my like med kit thing that I just got and be like, thanks, Dad.
Brilliant. All right, so you purchase a med kit. I like it, or rather your dad does. So, I just imagine like a big old xenomorph head just bobbling.
Just imagine when the real xenomorph looks into the cockpit and goes, what the fuck?
That's when Ash reaches over and pops its head off.
I'm following me with its eyes.
I'm sure
Roll
they make them,
intimidation.
but if they don't, they need to. But like, could you imagine a stress doll that's like a little chibi person, and when you squeeze it, like a chest burster pops out?
Amazing. I love that.
Xenomove.
Xenomove.
Oh, there we go.
Squishmallow Xenomorph.
From Wayman.
Yes. Oh no, that would be terrible. Oh, if only they could see our Discord. I think Lance Corporal Deacon would have a thing or two to say about these cutesy xenomorph ideas.
Yes.
So, Phoebe, you finish up your shopping trip, and you and your dad begin heading towards the office for the meeting place.
Mhm.
And then, lastly, and certainly not leastly, I did not change it on the title screen because I only had a month to do it. Like, geez, I did not change.
Up against it on time.
Yeah, I didn't change Susan to Susanna on the title screen or on the intro, so my apologies. Maybe next month, we'll see. I wouldn't put too much stock in it. Susanna,
Okay.
what are you doing before the meeting?
That depends on two things. Is the ship on the planet with us, or did we come down by a shuttle?
I'm going to say that you all arrived via your own means, so probably like a transport ship or maybe a shuttle, but you don't have the actual ship yet.
Ah, okay. Okay. In that case, I would probably be searching for some scientific supplies, and by that I'm thinking things like agar, growth media, that kind of thing. Would I find a shop that would sell that stuff, or failing that, oh, you know those places where you buy food in bulk bins? You know, like I don't know what they're called. Bulk
Yeah.
food store. Yeah.
Let's have chat. Let's have chat tell us what you might be able to find, because there's definitely like bulk food stores, but I don't know about like bulk science products.
Oh, well, even stuff like agar you should be able to find in a bulk food store is what I'm thinking.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no
Yeah.
scientific store available.
I'm imagining do-it-yourself taxidermy kits.
Yeah. It's like one of those little science kits that you would see like for kids.
That include the little safety glasses and the
Yeah.
little plastic beakers and shit.
Roller.
I'm just imagining Susanna shows up at the meeting with a like do-it-yourself chemistry, and she's like, "I'm the scientist."
It's an easy bake oven.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Lugo has one of those. It's got a burnt out light bulb, but all right. So
Absolutely.
we're just gonna roll ahead and we're gonna say that there's bulk food store. You can definitely find the things that you're gonna need in that regard. With a 4, though, I'm gonna say that you find like essentially the science equivalent of a hobby of lobbies.
Ooh.
Um,
Yeah, Susanna spends the entire 2 hours that she's got in there just like up to her elbows in everything, just, kid in a candy store.
yeah. I'm touching everything. I'm touching everything.
Mhm. Yep.
And okay, so you are shopping for science supplies before the meeting. I don't know what all exactly you're willing to buy. So much like Lance Corporal Deacon did, you can just subtract whatever you think would be a fair amount for the things that you're buying. Stuff like yarn and petri dishes and things like that, I'm considering is more like how would you word that? Like consumables for a spell in D&D. They're
Mm.
I'm not gonna harp on the price of them unless it's
Mhm.
like 1,000 GP diamond kind of thing. So
I think Susanna would buy as much as she can carry, without it being ridiculous. So maybe like $100 worth of stuff.
I mean, that's pretty decent. That's like
Yeah.
3 shopping bags.
Yeah, she just
This
rocks
is
up
name
with
brand.
bags.
Right. At this point, I'm going to say that all of you arrive at the meeting spot, kind of simultaneously, maybe a few minutes apart, kind of thing. But the people, this is more for Brooks. Like the people have more dwindled on their comings and goings as your time has gotten near. So it becomes pretty obvious that whoever this guy is, he's kind of set up meeting blocks, like times. It's not just like a hey, come on in.
Got it.
And as you all get inside, you can see that this building is not taken care of in the greatest of ways. I mean, it's not derelict or anything, but like the wallpaper is kind of peeling. Like some of the white ceiling tiles have very clear water damage. It just it looks like a very old building that nobody bothered to fix up ever. There's some sparse furniture in here, a few chairs here and there for people to sit in while they wait. And at the far end of the lower level that you're in, you can see that there is an office with like the clear windowed walls, like a business room in a hotel almost. And you can see an old man kind of sitting in there looking over some ledgers and things like that. And at this point, all of you are kind of gathered in this foyer. So I'll let you all kind of have a little convo before you go talk to him. Shopping so much.
This is the first time we've all met each other, right?
It is, yes. And unless you all have kind of discussed knowing each other on Discord, I'll say this is the first time you all have seen each other. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
I think.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to crack a joke, just that the building sounds like the last hospital I was in, honestly. But yeah, go for it.
Oh, no.
I think Brooks is definitely like pencil suit with a sensible heel and is definitely like hands around the room, like introducing very proper. There's nothing nonchalant or even friendly about the gesture. Just matter of factly, like Ashley Brooks, around the room. What does the old man? Is he just reviewing papers in front of himself quietly as he's getting situated?
Yep.
Can I see what's on the papers?
Not from your present location.
Okay.
Unless you have Android vision.
What do I roll for that? No, I'm kidding. No, but definitely that. I think maybe it's a little presumptuous. Deacon still carries himself like a colonial marine.
Yes,
Am I correct? Okay.
we're even wearing military fatigues.
Okay. I think Brooks would introduce themselves and then be like, "Where did you serve?"
In the Arcturus cluster during the fighting there, and I've done a lot of security work on some of the shipping ships.
Okay.
What's your background?
Officer. And it's just kind of a cold regard.
Deacon will look Brooks up and down. A little young, aren't you?
Aging well, maybe, is a better way to put it.
Fresh.
Not everyone gets the chance to.
Dang.
Combat.
From a safe distance. I prefer to handle things before it gets messy.
Guess that's the difference between officers and non-coms.
Takes both.
Someone to do the work and someone to point the finger.
Some people need to be pointed on where to go.
Ain't that the truth?
A muscle without a brain is just atrophy.
Yeah. Deacon will grunt and pull out 2 needles and start crocheting.
I think Brooks has to take a little bit of surprise to be like, okay, and they take their seat closest to the older gentleman that we're getting briefed by.
Okay. Oh.
I think at that point Phoebe's gonna run over because she recognizes Deacon, just like, oh, Deacon! Like, it's been so long. You still crocheting, man?
Deacon will look up, grunt, and go back to crocheting with a smile on his face.
Used up all his words for the day.
I'm gonna put Tofu's up there and I'll be like, not with the way Deacon knits or Deacon crochets, I should say. He's double timing it. Most people, when they crochet, they start at one end and work to the other. He goes from the middle out.
Oh, dang. Next level.
Oh,
No, and I
geez.
think, I'll just more or less take a seat next to you since you're the only one that I recognize in there, and then kind of motion for my dad to take a seat next, just patting the seat next to me,
Deacon will nod at the dad.
He nods back. Now, you do know of Ash. You know that he was the pilot on the last ship, but you never actually saw him.
Got you.
He was always just kind of like a voice on the intercom. So it may have even been that maybe Phoebe, given her younger age, may have thought that Ash was just AI.
But I don't know what he looks like, right?
Right.
Okay. So I'll keep that as a mental note once I actually hear his name. Like, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh my god, you're an actual person.
Great. Phoebe's gonna think I'm the android.
Yeah.
Everybody's android.
Yes.
So Mr. Lugo sits down and he starts going through his shopping bags and checking out his haul. Lots of like dirty baubles and bits and bobs. And everybody else kind of sees Phoebe, this like 15-year-old, like, who lets kids in space? Like, who does that? The old man is still finishing up some stuff, so that'll give Susanna and Ash a little bit longer to interact, should you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to.
I think Susanna approaches Brooks, seeing that Brooks was introducing themselves, around. Just says, Susanna Garcia, nice to meet you. Holds a hand out.
Ashley Brooks, likewise.
Scientist. I heard you were an officer. Is that
That's
right?
correct. Mhm.
Nice.
What is your field of study?
Xenobiology. Although let's just say I've gone freelance. I haven't worked fully in that field for a little while.
By choice?
Yeah, by choice. Well, she sort of does a double take at Phoebe. This is going to be an interesting crew we've got here.
Quite the mix-up. I agree. Not sure Not sure what the child's purpose is.
That
I
child
suppose time
Brooks
will
has seen
tell.
more things than you have.
Like, probably. But I think just seeing a 15-year-old in a briefing room is just so out of place. And I think the immediate hitch up is, what the heck are we doing here? Why is there a child? It'd be like going into
Maybe
work and
she's the
seeing a
android.
child. You know, it'd be like,
Mm.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and I'm kind of assuming that I don't necessarily hear that conversation because I'm probably fiddling over my medical instruments at that point, just kind of impatiently waiting for this guy to like tell us what's going on. So that is the only reason why Phoebe has not made a comment.
Yeah,
Facts.
Phoebe.
Facts.
Phoebe's got out like her Doc McStuffins medical kit. Like,
I hate that you said that, but it's accurate.
There's like a board game operation poking out of a bag there as well.
that's her practice.
Yeah.
She's got like those plastic stethoscopes you give to kids. You know, like, I'm a doctor.
Oh no, poor Phoebe.
We love you, Phoebe.
Rude awakening once you guys find out I'm actually the medic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, is my camera catching up to anyone else? Or
It is, yeah.
Okay, it's just me. All right. Cool. Yeah, no, so I think maybe Brooks would even kind of kick out the seat next to them a little bit for Susanna to sit down. And just kind of, xenobiology freelance. Is that a lucrative market?
It can be, if you know the right people.
It's half the game.
Mm.
Have you worked with this name before, Darius?
No, I haven't actually. This would be the first time I've met him. Have you?
No. And if I am sorry, should have mentioned earlier, also a bit of a freelance and someone that keeps a tab on some names. You've been freelance for a while. I've been freelance for a while, and none of us has heard the name Darius.
It is quite interesting, isn't it? Well, I'm glad we crossed paths now because I feel like we probably both have similar approaches to life.
I would agree. Going forward, I can see us keeping an eye out for each other.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Then I think Susanna just sits back to wait,
Same. I think we just sit in quiet regard of each other. Such a weird interaction. It feels weird to be so proper compared to our last characters. But
Yeah.
Well, androids aren't good in social situations.
Two androids walking
Android?
into a bar.
We have an android? What?
Surprise, you're an android and you're an android. Everybody's
Was anybody
Oops,
ever
all androids.
alive?
Oh no. And yes, the Blade Runner was. He's the only one that's real in this universe. Ash, what are you doing with all of this?
Ash has kind of been watching it. Gives warm greeting, Lance Corporal. Nice to see you, Phoebe, and kind of leans against the wall. And if the you two are done sizing each other up, maybe we can get started here.
I think Phoebe's
By all
gonna kind
means.
of look around though and be like, "Do I know you?"
Deacon leans over without looking up. He was piloting the last ship where everything went down. You never met him.
I thought our ship was like autopilot.
Some people would say Ash is an autopilot.
Dang. Okay. Well,
He's an android.
Now Phoebe's definitely gonna think I'm an android.
I recognize the voice though. Nice to finally have a face to the name. Really good flying back there. I mean, it was years ago, but you were really awesome.
Thank you. Gives the warmest possible smile to Phoebe, and it's still barely like a lip curl.
Oh, no one here is good socially.
It's like, no, that's not necessary. Let's not do that. Oh, all right. Well, now that everybody's kind of talked and we've got everybody in one place, Darius closes up a few of the ledgers and kind of stacks them on top of each other and sees that you're all out there. He jumps up from the table and comes out. My apologies. I'm so sorry. Darius Toten, please come. We have much to discuss. And he kind of motions for all of you to join him in this little conference room.
All women?
Yeah, Ash just directly follows him in.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooks's camera. Oh, your camera
I'm
was
trying
briefly
my
frozen again.
best.
No, you're doing
Yeah.
fine. You're good. It
You're
was
back.
just funny because you were like taking a drink.
Yeah, it's a rough.
So everybody follows Darius in, picks a seat around this table. It's like one of those awkward ovals. And like everybody's kind of like almost awkwardly close to each other just so that you can all fit.
Are there enough chairs for everyone?
There is, yeah. So Darius just kind of stands at the other side of the table from you all in front of all of his papers and things like that. And he says, okay, well, I'm not going to mince words or beat around a horse or anything like that. I've asked you here because I need crew members. I need people to fly ships for me. Perhaps I should start at the beginning. I am old. I'm a bit long in the tooth. And, well, I have nothing to show for my lifetime in this universe. I wish to change that before I'm no longer here. You can't do that. You can't do that when I'm monologuing. You see, I do not care for the many corporations that exist within our universe. They all seem to be unscrupulous and underhanded.
You ain't just whistling Dixie.
Oh, I love that tune.
Yeah, you're old.
I'm old. So I aim to start my own corporation. I have a handful of ships that I'm outfitting with crews, and, well, I have piecemealed you together from things that I've heard of your exploits? That might be too harsh of a word. Your doings, your goings-ons, things that have been brought to my attention. You all come highly recommended.
What kind of ops?
Organization? There you go. Great minds. What kind of organization are you aiming to start here?
Well, as you know, many of the corporations are very singularly focused. I would like to broaden the horizon to incorporate all facets. Perhaps create a androids at some point that don't murder people. I mean, that would be a good start. Shipping, industry, recon, rescue, a little bit of everything. You all are kind of the test bed, let's say.
Do you have a business plan laid out for this? Given that you seem to have a very broad spread of what you're interested in, that would be an awful lot of different markets to try and nose into at the same time. Do you have a plan for that?
I will.
To be even more pragmatic, exactly how deep are your pockets?
Oh, money is no problem for me. I've spared no expense.
Interesting.
So
Go
ahead.
Pardon me, Brooks. So let's just say we sign on to be your test batch, your test crew, so to speak. What exactly is it that you want us to go out there and do?
Well, to be honest, since I'm still relatively new to this game of corporation fun, the jobs that come in, they're not super frequent. So, for the most part, you would kind of be left to your own devices to do whatever jobs you would like to do. But should an actual job come in that I require you to do, I would send you a message and you'd be able to handle it. And of course, I will make sure that you are all properly compensated. In fact, I'm willing to offer all of you a sign-on bonus. A little something to get you started and perhaps pique your interest a little more.
So let me get this straight. You're a very wealthy man with enough information networks to gather what seems to be the foremost freelance experts in their field, including a teenager, to run jobs, infrequent as they may be, at what doesn't seem to be for growth of a company. What is the purpose? If we were worried about a growth of a company, there would be a metric to hit, and that hasn't even come into play. So you want to talk about fun. What kind of fun are we looking at, Mr. Darius?
Well, first of all, to address the rather small elephant in the room, let's say, that teenager, I mean, every ship needs a medic. So, that is why I have called upon Miss Lugo here.
Is she a form of android?
He kind of like side eyes Phoebe.
No.
I suppose I should talk to you, Miss Lugo.
Yeah.
Is it at your age?
Yeah.
What school have you attended?
It's more OJT actually, from various different medics, and a lot of notes, a lot of reading, some application, not a lot. But I have just actually acquired my own medical instrument kit. So
I think Brooks's jaw actually drops. It was just like
So exactly what length of time would you say you have experience with the on-the-job training aspect of that?
2 years.
Did you see much action during those 2 years?
More than I would like, but kind of the start of my career, you would say, was probably the most I've seen.
So I'm kind of thinking of this funky oblong table, and I imagine it's like Ash, Mr. Lugo, Phoebe, Deacon. And when asked if there's any action that they've seen, I imagine there's some sort of grimace or response down the board.
We really do need OSHA.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
I think I regard Tim. I'm going to regard Lance Corporal Deacon, and at the word of action, Deacon.
He
Action.
chuckles under his breath. Action. Well, let me tell you something, Brooks. Miss Lugo here. I've been flying with them for multiple years. They know how to handle themselves when the shit hits the fan. So you don't need to worry about her or her father or Ash.
Tall words from a Marine. I don't imagine a Marine would head into action without a good medic. So I'm liable to take your word for it.
She learned from the best.
Yeah, I think the issue of a teenager is something to put a pin in for now, given their expertise.
It is a little unorthodox, but if you vouch for her, I'm willing to accept that.
Agreed.
Now, what I want to know, Darius, when we go out there, what are we going on? Do you have what kind of ship are you crewing us on?
Well, I have a repurposed salvaging ship. Which brings me to my next point. I must admit that, Brooks, your powers of observation are exactly why I invited you to be part of this crew. Because you have already asked far more questions than any of the other people who have come in here today. Most of them hear the sign-on bonus, and that's all they hear. And they sign up immediately, but no one asks hard-hitting questions like you have. If we're being candid in such a manner, truth be told, I don't have a business plan. I don't have a motto. I don't have mission statement, anything like that. In fact, me wanting to start a corporation is, well, it's more of a cover, really. You see, a few years ago, I came across this. And he opens up one of his ledgers and pulls out a star chart. And he kind of lays it out in front of you all, unfolds it a few times. It's like one of those old school,
I kind of help
like,
unfold it.
yeah, it's like
let's
an
see what we're
old
looking
school
at.
roadmap. Like, I haven't been able to piece all of this together, and I don't have the access to the technology for cryo sleep, so unfortunately I'm not able to traverse the distances needed. But over here, and he kind of points to a circle on the star chart of a solar system way far away. I mean, we're talking like 300 years away. I came across some notes about a rare planet that exists over here. This planet is rumored to have so much wealth that you could not possibly fathom the amount. We're talking mountains completely made of precious metals, We're talking chemicals that exist only on this planet that have yet to be named, creatures that have yet to be categorized. And now for the sad part. Obviously, in my advanced age, I don't care about the money or the things that this planet offers. I did once. And it was in my hubris that I sent my son and daughter on the first expedition to this planet. They were not forced, of course. It was volunteer. They volunteered to go, but they have not been heard from since.
Sorry.
How long ago was that?
Hazards of space travel, I suppose. It's been about 7 years. Now, they made it. They made it about a month out from this planet before suddenly going radio silent. And as I said, we lost contact, and 7 years have passed. This leads me to my first mission for you. After 7 long years, their ship has resurfaced, but we are unable to ascertain contact with them. I need someone to go to the ship itself and find out what is going on and save my children if possible.
Is ship derelict or under power?
From what I've been told, it is under life support only. Its engines are completely disabled.
Where
The
did it
only thing-
resurface?
Approximately a month's travel from here. Exactly the same spot that we lost contact. I will provide the coordinates, and also I can provide you this. As soon as the ship returned, this was the only transmission that came through. And he kind of like brings up a small data pad and hits play on like this MP3. And it's heavily static, but you can definitely hear like some voices saying something. And he says, I don't have the people necessary to clean that up. So you're more than welcome to take it with you and clean it up along the way if you wish. My offer to you is the use of the ship, a refurbished and how to word it? What's the word I'm looking for? Refurbished and repurposed. There we go. A repurposed salvaging ship. It is quite nimble and requires a pilot who can handle flying it manually, as many of the autopilot controls have been disabled. Ah, yes, retrofit. I like that one. That's a good one too.
Can I kind of talk like on behalf of my dad? 'Cause-
Your dad's like just off in, no pun intended, off in space. He's playing one of those little handheld Nintendo games.
No way.
No. No. No.
I think Brooks loudly clears their
No.
throat.
Yeah, he maybe got a little brain damage when he got messed up 2 years ago. I don't know.
He was pretty fucked up when we found him, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really was. So
He looks up at Brooks clearing their throat and sorry about that. My apologies. That the xenomorph poison, that'll do something to your brain, I'm telling you.
I think Brooks looks over at Susanna. Xenomorph poison?
Yeah, you just see her eyebrows like at the right at the top of her forehead.
Clocked.
Well,
Okay.
I think I'm gonna kind of like nudge my dad and be like, and kind of look over to him and be like, Dad, have you ever seen that what did you call it, Mr. Darius? Data plate thing that has your children's voice thing on it?
Oh, yeah, it's probably kind of similar to my iPod.
Well, do you think, like, if we get it, you could maybe clear up the static so we can maybe figure out?
Oh, yeah, no problem. It might take me a little bit, but I can do that easy.
Can we get multiple copies?
Sure. Yes. Your Zune.
Okay. I think Brooks regards Mr. Darius. Assuming we take the job, some things that we'll need for this particular mission. I'm assuming Miss Lugo will need medical transcripts for everyone on board before the loss. Susanna will need a full breakdown on whatever you have on the planet that they visited. Mr. Deacon will need to know the layout of the ship as well as any armament they had via their departure. And Ash will also need a full rundown on its and our ship's capabilities. And we'll need that before we take off.
Well, I interject and I'm like, my dad here's the roughneck, so he's probably going to need the stuff for the ship too.
Naturally. Good point, Miss Lugo.
Oh, absolutely. I can provide all of these things for you. No problems at all. Let's discuss the matter of the sign-on bonus.
Yeah, let's.
Now, obviously, with you all being out in space, potentially going into deep space, it would be hard for me to just wire you money. So I think probably the better way to handle this would be how most of the larger corporations do it and handle it in a reimbursement sort of way where things that you purchase you can provide receipts for and I will reimburse you when you get to a major settlement or when you return here. But as far as the sign-on bonus itself, for this first trip, being that it's a month away and it's very important to me, would you all be willing to do $50,000 sign-on bonus each?
For a month's worth of work, 2 given the forward and back, and the amount of variables not given. I'm not sure this is the time to spare an expense, Mr. Darius.
Is this bonus and you're covering ship and supplies?
Yes, of course.
What kind of bonus did he call it again? Sign-on?
Sign-on bonus, yeah.
Okay. Has who's looked over the ship prior to its retrofit?
I've had it inspected by a few roughnecks. It's definitely space worthy. Of course, it could use a few upgrades, but it will do the job for this first mission, of course.
Oh.
Are you willing to, if we propose upgrades that would make our jobs easier or that we would be able to do our jobs better, are you able to accommodate that before we leave? What is the time frame we're talking about here within which to leave?
I mean, ideally, I would like for you to head out today. I mean, my children are floating in space, but I understand that there just probably needs to be a little bit of grace period for you to get your affairs in order. what do you think would be an appropriate length of time?
On the topic of your children floating in space, their ship is outfitted with cryotubes?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
The sign-on bonus is more than generous. Given the I'm fumbling a word.
Yeah. No.
But given the fact that you want this expedited, I think we can do that. We could even leave today, given that we have funds available to stock the ship as we see fit. We're only as good as our tools, Mr. Darius. I think a sizable bump of 10,000 apiece will see us right for quite some time. So that would be 60,000 each.
And we also haven't discussed the ongoing rate, the monthly rate so far. We've only discussed the initial bonus.
Give me a empathy manipulation roll.
Oh Lord, we're rolling.
Can I help? Because I was talking to.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so that's
We're
trying to get this
all
money.
putting a price on life.
I
Eh,
mean,
he put a price on his children. We didn't do that.
he's the one that was like, "Here, we're going to throw money at you to go and." I don't
That's
know.
2 6s.
Woo. All right.
I believe that'll set us right as far as monthly stipend. What does that look like, Mr. Darius?
I believe that yes, I think that is quite fair, and we can definitely do that.
How much
What
time
else?
do you need to get that money as well? I'm kind of probing to see. He says money's no object, but banks don't move that way. So where's he? Is he Scrooge McDuck in it? Like, what are we talking?
Hint a new toaster, Mr. Toaster. Oh
Is there
yes,
a
I
Mr.
can.
Coffee on this ship?
Well, of course. I can transfer you the funds immediately.
Noted. Now back to monthly stipend. Not to be withheld during cryosleep, of course. What number is that, Mr. Darius?
I'm open to suggestions.
Shit. What would be a normal rate for that? Could you ballpark me, Ray, please?
No.
What's the
All right,
expensive
1 million a
gear?
month. I have no idea how to ballpark this. Somebody help.
I was like, you might want to ask
the book
somebody
had
who's been
something.
out there in space.
I swear the book had something about. I can't. Where's the book?
Start at 10. Don't take less than 8.
1,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here we go, gear. Let's see
More
how
money.
much stuff starts costing.
Okay. I think
Guns
we
are
start
in
at
the
10.
500,000. Big plasma pulse rifles are like 20,000. So yeah, we're probably 8 to 10,000.
I think 10,000 a month per crew member is more than fair.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. We've got I've just found a table. It's got weekly salaries. For colonial labor goes from like $500 a week up to elite occupations of $1,300 a week.
Okay, so we just threw that. Okay.
Hey, we're the elite of the elite. He's
Yeah.
trying to get us to
Well,
go.
And it's
I
a lot
mean,
of dangerous.
scientists is in there, in the elite occupations. So yeah, I think $1,300 a week would probably be a good starting point for a negotiation. I don't know.
Should be about 5.
Given the amount of variation in our work, 1,500 a week seems like adequate compensation for the amount of work being asked and not asked, frankly.
For each of you, or for the entire crew?
Each, Mr. Darius.
Each.
Well, that seems a bit exorbitant. How about 5,000, and anything that you come across, you can keep for yourself. I mean,
5,000 a month
A month?
a week.
For the group?
for the group. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's
it's
6 of us.
And all salvage rights?
All salvage rights, yes, and that extends to not just the scrap metals and things like that, but obviously things of scientific merit.
People.
And did you say people?
Dark universe out there, Mr. Darius.
I mean, I'm
no.
not.
Wow.
I don't particularly deal in livestock, but if that is
Livestock. This man's gonna take me out. No.
Great, they're boat snacks.
I think
That's-
6,000 for the crew. That's 1,000 a piece. That's coming down from 15 a head to 1,000 a head. Is
Okay.
generous.
Hold
I'm
on.
not gonna look this gift horse in the mouth. No offense.
It does sound like he's for someone who's like money is no object here. He's doing
Now
an
it's an
awful lot
object.
of ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got deep pockets, but it's not that deep.
I like my
it's like
kid.
it's like
Not
a
that
woman.
much.
It's the pockets on a woman's pants.
Lot
Yep.
of them. Not very
Yeah.
deep.
Only one's real, the other one's
Some of them are
sewn.
fake. Yeah.
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 I'm on a fixed income. I'm sorry. I'm old.
But 1,000 a
How-
head is market rate. And given a performance review is when we could talk about increasing our monthly stipend.
Bonuses, salvage, second ship. Yeah, I think it's fine. Second
out of
ship with cryo
curiosity.
beds.
How many other crews are you hiring? You've mentioned that we're the only ones that have asked so many questions so far. How many other crews are you hiring? And are you individually negotiating with each crew what their rates are to be?
I'm not going to lie. All of them have been very simple in and out. There was very little negotiation. In fact, there's been no negotiation. It's almost been like I've been talking to myself this whole time.
I imagine Brooks in the cafe was just watching people walk in and walk out. Like at the point of $50,000 was just
Like a sushi
immediate.
train. Yep.
I can assure you, Mr. Darius, we can and will outperform all laymen teams.
All right. So what is your final offer? What is it that you're willing to take?
50,000 a piece is what you offered. Another 10,000 a piece for expediting, immediately leaving the planet to find your children, which I imagine the other teams weren't assigned to. And then 1,000 a head per monthly stipend, given also founders' rights
per week.
per week.
And use of the ship between jobs, no questions asked.
Including livestock.
That sounds very reasonable. I
No.
I mean, And a bathtub on the spaceship. I mean, if you fill it with water, isn't the entire ship just one big bathtub?
I imagine it would go 0 G and you would drown, not being able to get the water off of you.
Risky
just
FA.
gonna- I'm just,
It's
I'm
bad
just
for
gonna,
it.
I'm just gonna make a little note of that real quick.
Yeah. Let me write all of that down because Matt, as a player, will forget all the stuff I just stipulated.
Monthly bath bomb allowance.
So that's 10,000 or 1,000 a week. Founders rights.
And you know, he's plugging all of this in on one of the little data pads and everything. Like it's kind of Chat GPT style filling in this contract. and
And
he's
no.
he spins it around and slides it over for you all to take turns signing.
I read it very thoroughly.
It is legit basically just exactly what you all said. Like there's no fine print or him trying to like screw you guys over. It's very cut and dry. Like this man has never made a contract in his life.
And of course, when can we expect the information I requested about the mission?
Oh, I can have that for you before you leave. I can have it sent directly to the ship if you'd like.
Please.
And so he hands you all the contract, and he starts preparing a few other things, like basically turning over the rights to the ship to you guys and getting that all prepared.
Okay.
Before
I also
Deacon
thoroughly
signs,
read.
he's got one question. So, Mr. Darius, 7 years is a long time. What do you expect us to find out there? And if we find something you don't like, how upset will you be if we can't save your kids?
Truth be told, I expect that you will find them in cryo. However, knowing my children, they can be quite stubborn, and it is highly likely that they are deceased at this point.
If we do find them alive, do you want us to drag them back?
Please, if you would.
Live.
He'll sign his
We
name.
are kidnapping. All right.
Just out of curiosity, how old were your children?
My son was 37 and my daughter was 45.
Okay.
So you had them when you were 50?
What are you talking about? I am only 50.
Age on this planet, it's different.
Whoa! Whoa!
Not everyone has the privilege of aging gracefully, Mr. D.
Or being an android?
Yeah, but I don't know why he was 5.
Sits up from the table, super rigid and android-like.
You thought it was his joints cracking, but it's like servos because his hydraulic fluid is so old.
Oh god.
What was the makeup of the original crew that you sent out with your children in it? Were they
Same.
prepared for combat? Were they?
I think
They
that
were
was all the
not
info
prepared for
was
combat.
concerned.
This was meant to be an exploration mission. I didn't expect that they would encounter combat. However, since the disappearance, I have decided that that is not entirely wise. And so each ship is coming with at least one person, and he kind of motions to Deacon, who knows their way around a rifle.
Okay. I think that's all we need, Mr. Darius. Is there a crew coming in after us?
I believe I do have 2 more interviews today, but they won't be going on the same mission as you, so don't worry about like trying to fight someone for that. However, all the other rights that it's possible that maybe they beat you to those situations. I really hope that the livestock was a joke, but I'm ask no questions as per Susanna's orders.
I'm not a comedian, Mr. Darius. I imagine Brooks is getting up to leave. They have a very large closet to move on to a ship.
Ash is making notes to themselves about appropriate times to hit turbulence.
I think
He gives you the
keys to the ship.
what you call it. I mean, essentially, like all the key, like the pad, like codes and things like that. He gives you which hangar that it is currently docked in, all that good stuff, so you can make your way there. And you all can return to your current living quarters or whatever you'd like to do with that in order to get all of your possessions to the ship.
I think Brooks would like to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Lugo on the way out. Kind of stop him out in the lobby or maybe even the hall. Mr. and Mrs. Lugo, 1 second. I did have some questions to ask. Miss Lugo, you spoke of having your first field kit bought today.
Yes.
Understood. Where was it purchased?
Some vendor booth, like down the way.
So we can assume it's not sterile.
I'm gonna sterilize it. I know that much.
I don't mean to upset you, Miss Lugo. What I'm getting at is if some of the stipend for the ship needs to go to new medical equipment and maybe some textbooks. I'm assuming you're continuing your education.
Yes, absolutely.
Understood.
Ash is gonna be walking by and go, expenses.
I mean, if we could get like a brand new kit, that would be better. We just didn't know that they were going to supply so much.
Yes, the 10,000 apiece. You are one of the more wealthy teenagers on this planet at this point. But if you need contact of where to find medical grade equipment for shipfaring purposes, I am at your disposal. And she hands her a business card.
It's like...
It's one-sided. Mr. Lugo.
Support both sides, eh?
And Mr. Lugo, I noticed that you were preoccupied during our briefing. I've been on enough ships to know that the backbone of any good ship is the roughneck. Should I be concerned? I don't know who's in charge of.
Yeah.
Ray, is Sarah playing?
Yeah, I don't.
Two characters. I'm not sure. Logistics wise.
He's playing his Tetris game again.
We're fucked. Yeah.
He just got it. All right. He just got this today.
I think
He's a
Brooks
little
is
obsessed.
going to take it out of his hand. Like,
sorry, what?
and just without looking away from him, hands it to Miss Lugo. Mr. Lugo, James, if I remember correctly, we were just talking about the safety and future well-being of your daughter, as well as the rest of the crew. Do I
I'm
have
not
to
worried
be?
about this one.
I am very worried, Mr. Lugo. Do you need medical attention? Shifts back over to Miss Lugo. Has he been checked out by a physician? Not a medic, but someone maybe with a neuroscience degree.
Yeah, him and a few other survivors that we had brought aboard and whatnot, they got looked at. They didn't really have a word for more or less like his attention span is just a little smaller than it used to be, is really what it comes down to. But he's still the best roughneck out here. Like, no doubt about it. And like he said, you don't really have to worry about me. I know I might be younger than most, but I can handle myself. And so can my dad.
A deacon, a colonial marine, they don't typically extend grace and trust lightly. He extended that branch to you. I trust that. You've now extended it to your father. If that branch snaps, we die. A medic and a roughneck. Both at varying odds of the spectrum. You do give me some concerns about your age, but they are put at ease by your demeanor. Your father, on the other hand, a specimen, physically, it gives me concern of his headspace. And I understand you've taken a look at him. Would you be opposed, considering that there was some damage done by a poison, that Susanna take a look at him?
I mean, it's really up to my dad.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that. I mean, the doctor said that, it would clear up eventually. But to be honest, I've never really had much of a connection with other people. Machines are more my speed.
Understood. I hope my reservations are misplaced. Good day. Turns on the heel and walks.
He puts a hand on Phoebe's shoulder and he says, "See, I told you someone would finally notice that I could have been a colonial marine with these guns."
Yeah. Let's go, Dad.
Oh, Phoebe is the parent here. Let's be real.
Yes, I feel for Phoebe so much.
So we're gonna do like a because we're kind of winding down on time. We're gonna do like a real quick like Batman moment, and everybody arrives at the landing pad with your belongings all packed nice and neat in crates and things like that. We'll say that Darius had sent some cronies to help, cart your stuff to the ship so you don't have to bring it all yourself. And as the crew walks onto the landing pad, you take a look at the ship for the first time. And anybody that is watching for the first time, didn't watch session 0, you all see this in front of you in all of its glory. Retrofitted, repackaged, refurbished, and wholly spray painted by local hooligans that were able to get into this hangar.
I think Brooks kind of leans over to Ash and be like, 50,000 may have been a little light.
We've got a ship. Well, I've got a ship.
Any home away from home, Brooks?
I guess that'll do. I think, yeah, they have a lot of luggage. Like, it's
Yes,
obnoxious.
just
A whole hat
exchanges a dubious look with Brooks of just like, this is our ship. Oh God.
Mr. Lugo says, you know, it's a fixer-upper, but I think we'll be all right.
Just hope it hasn't Mr. Coffee.
I don't like to think things. I like to know things.
I hope it does too, Deacon. I mean, most of
Don't
these
worry,
ships...
there's one in my gear.
Mr. Coffee, care to
Yeah.
elaborate?
Sweet
Mr.
ambrosia, Susanna. Sweet ambrosia.
Breakfast of champions. Half coffee,
I
half
look
oatmeal.
forward to the experience.
A shudder runs up Brooks's back.
Oh no.
I want that on a t-shirt with absolutely no context.
I hate that. I hate it.
I've got a
all
friend
the
that can do that.
What a piece of junk. It's a death trap, sir.
time. All right. Oh yeah.
Crossing all the streams. So as you all head up into the ship, you know, the people are pushing the little hover carts that are, you know, carrying your gear and everything. All of you are met with like, it's not rusty, okay? Like the ship is a little old, that's for sure. But it's not like rusted out. It's not falling apart. Like it's gonna be space worthy. But you all are immediately met with like the smell of like stale cigars and like
Home sweet
Like-
home.
it's like stale cigars mixed with like a pool locker room.
Oh.
I think Brooks is pretending not to be bothered, but they are screaming internally. Are all the
Susanna's not
quarters,
doing a good job of hiding the disgust.
are all the quarters identical, or is there a captain's quarters?
No, all the quarters are unfortunately identical. And the way that they're set up is like they have an angled door that you open up and there's a ladder that goes down into the quarters.
I recognize
Okay.
how that is. Yeah, no, I think just start packing my own stuff away. I don't think I let the goons help put stuff in my room, and I'm definitely taking accountability to make sure everything is there. Considering this guy will hire anybody.
Right?
Apparently. Mm.
Now, before we wrap things up, there was one last piece of business that I wanted to get to, and that is that Brooks has brought another member of the crew, yes?
I did. I'm carrying a large, probably a bit too large, and maybe a little customized, a little too swanky of a pet carrier. And it has
It's like
a
bedazzled.
cat. Yeah, it's like quilted pattern. Like it looks like the Rolls Royce of pet carrier.
It's like one of those handbags that people put small dogs in, but just with like a bit of mesh there for the.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. But there were two different cats that I sent you. Did you have both of them?
I'll be honest, I don't even remember getting either of them. Not saying you didn't, just saying I don't remember.
I hope I did.
I say the memory is the first thing to go, Ray.
One of them was a Sphinx cat.
It's the
The other
Xeno
one-
poison.
was a very large, like, tabby, or not a tabby. I will go with tabby. So a sphinx cat or a very large tabby, and I was gonna let the crew or the chat both pick the species of the cat and the name.
All right, so we're gonna throw that out to the chat. Do we want to have a sphinx or a large tabby? And then also, what would you name the ship's cat? Because every alien ship needs a cat, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's in the rules.
That's
exactly.
why our last ship didn't go so well, because we didn't have a cat.
You need a
You live, you learn, right, Kara?
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh, we got 2 votes tabby, 1 sphinx.
A hairless sphinx. I mean, I
Tabby
feel
I
like
named the tabby sphinx.
or
I
name
like
the,
that,
the
though.
sphinx tabby. I just imagine like a hairless sphinx would be wandering around on the ship like a chihuahua, just shaking all the time.
Absolutely. They wear little sweaters.
Until Deacon, crocheted enough sweaters to keep them.
little like slouchy beanie hat, like
Like a little tea
Yeah.
cozy, but just with extra holes,
Mm-hmm.
I really do dig the tabby named Sphinx. Not gonna lie. Oh, hold on. Here's a name. Catupia.
Cassiopeia. I mean,
Oh
No!
No.
No!
Get out of here!
Oh,
Boo! Tomato, boo!
Yeah.
we all just saw that and went, no!
yeah. That brings us back around to the pre-stream when we were talking about that.
We
Yeah.
were. Not my cat.
It was a
I
thing.
literally need them to relieve stress. My character needs it.
And as you all are getting settled in and we're waiting for chat to come to a decision, or rather throw out a couple more ideas so we can try and decide here, Mr. Lugo goes, Phoebe, please tell me that's not a cat carrier.
Oh, Dad, I think it is. Oh, we're probably gonna have to buy some medication for you.
I hate cats. Why is it always got to be the good-looking ones? There's always something wrong with them. Like, who likes cats?
Can't. Oh my goodness. Just because you're
I'm
allergic
sorry.
to cats doesn't mean everybody else has to, like, you know?
No, cats are stupid.
Oh my god. We're not having this
They don't
conversation.
listen. They don't do anything. Not like a dog. A dog will take care of you. You call for a dog, they come to you.
I think that's as many votes as we're getting for cat. So
Yeah, kind of
I'm
looks
seeing-
like it.
Tabby, and I do like Catiopia. I'm not gonna lie, but I also like Sphinx. So I'll leave that up to you, Ray. But it is a very large tabby, and I imagine they have already just like opened the carrier for them to get used to
Yeah.
the area.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a roll off. So it's a very large tabby, and we're gonna have Tofu do a roll for Catiopia, and then we will have Jay Ballin, or no, Khaleesi, do a roll for Sphinx, and whoever rolls higher will be the name.
Lunch.
Just thought I would bring over my very large tabby.
Yes.
Aw.
No,
So
it is
cute.
worth noting that Ray likes cats. Ray has no opinions
Aw.
against
Oh,
cats.
they rolled a 1.
Oh well,
No.
I'm
we
sorry,
we might get a tie. We just need
Yeah.
that roll from Tofu. It might be a tie, and we'll have to do a roll of death.
Roll
Oh, wait, we got another name, though.
Uh,
I think, right?
we had emergency rations.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Roll
no.
a 3. So
All right,
Tofu
with
has
a roll
named
of 3.
the Catiopia.
Catiopia, the large tabby, takes in its surroundings. Isn't super like plussed about it, but you know, they'll get used to it. Starship cats do that. And so, Ash, I'm going to say during all of this buffoonery, you have made it up to where you feel most comfortable, which would be the crew station.
And I'm trying to get my remote uplink terminal hooked in so I can fly this puppy by remote.
Ooh. Go ahead and let me bring up a character sheet here. Go ahead and give me, let's see, what would that be?
Probably Comtech.
Yeah, let's do wits and Comtech.
That gives me
Are we
8.
adding 60,000 each now?
Yes, the funds have been wired to you.
Golly,
My current
we're
cash just went
rich.
from 400 to 60,400.
Yeah,
I got 1.6.
But I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of money, yeah. But the things that we have all discussed in private and things like that will probably cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Android
we will definitely
parts.
make good use of this stuff. And Ash, you said you got 1.6?
Yep.
Perfect. You have uploaded your remote piloting system, and you now have access to that.
Excellent.
Now, the crew station itself isn't bad. In fact, it's almost a little bit better than the last ship you were on.
This one doesn't have any blood on it.
Yeah, no blood, no sticky keys. I mean, this isn't like an 80s cockpit. This is like a 90s cockpit.
Ooh.
Ooh.
With the little styrofoam cup mural.
Yeah. And as you're getting your system all hooked up, Mr. Lugo comes in and he's kind of looking around and he's like, "Oh yeah. Yeah, this is nice. I can fix this place up real nice. Starting with this." And he sets the hula girl like right on the pilot's console.
Oh, someone's in your space.
Except
he
this
looks
one,
at-
I go, yeah, cool. Put my
He
little
looks
pop
at
doll
Ash.
next to it.
Hey.
He looks at Ash and then he kind of looks around a little bit and he goes, "You know, a lot of people think that having stuff like this in the crew station is kind of silly. But this thing is going to detect a gravity well far before this technology will."
Smart thinking.
With my last two, I'll take all the help I can get.
I'm sure you'll do just fine. You were a great pilot last time.
Yeah, at least we didn't all die.
Yeah. He like gets 1,000-yard stare for a second.
Oh no.
Well, I suppose I should get going.
Yeah. Hand him the Mr. Coffee. Can you get this hooked up?
Ooh, yeah, I can absolutely do that. He takes off down to the mess hall to set up a Mr. Coffee.
Ugh.
Amazing.
And I think that's where we're going to wrap our session for this evening. Wonderful job, y'all. This is a fantastic episode. We are now ready to embark into space. You all did such a good job. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I enjoy our sessions together for realsies. And definitely thanks to the chat. Like, keep
Thank
earning them
you.
chat points, and when we get into some situations, start using them up. Except Tofu. No more making monsters grow. That's not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and
I think we could have a cat mischief
Ooh,
expenditure.
yes.
That would be
Yes.
lovely. The chat seems like they would love chat cat.
Perfect.
Love it. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next month with Alien, the tabletop RPG. Bye.
Bye.